Okay. Whatever I have explained, everything is lost. Okay, fine. Okay. So once again, I'll explain. Okay, this exceptions are that may occurs when you're compiling your program, or that may occurs when you are running your program. So we come across a lot of examples that is we handle when we are with the WebEx. If you face that type of errors like network or audio, something like that, I have explained this. Like that, suppose if you are dividing some number with a number 5 with some other number, okay. If you are using some for loop, which number it is going to be come in a denominator. Suppose 3 comes, no problem. Suppose what happens if 0 comes? If you face such type of problem, of course, we know that we cannot divide any number by 0. So it is an error. What happens? Running an application, you are in the middle. So up to this, no problem. It can be divided by 1, 2, 3, or something like that. But randomly, if any value that 0 may comes here, so of course, our program terminates because we know that 5 divided by 0 is an error. So if it terminates means there are other things to handle. If we suddenly our program is going to be terminated and other things application itself. Okay, so they don't come at all. So how to overcome this type of situations? Like it may be divided by 0, or it may be like we face the problem like in WebEx, or it may be I'm trying to access one database in a web application. So up to some minutes access, assume that in my database server maybe some power problem happen, it switch off. Okay, so now if I trying to access some information in database, we know the application. Okay, so what happens if database is switch off? Of course I cannot have access to my database itself, is it right? So that's why we need to understand that now there may be a problem with database, otherwise we don't know what is happened at all. Okay, we are again go on trying to access the database itself, or we may just terminate application itself get terminates. Okay, if application itself terminates means there are other things we can do with our front end. Okay, not only a data, we need static pages also. If application, of course, we know that. So problems. Okay, so in these actual problems are, we call it as an exception that may either in a compile time or in a what is it that runtime. Okay, so we need to handle situations so that, so if we face any type of such situation, okay, we have to over and we have to run our application smoothly. That is what we are going to do using an exception and things. Okay, so how to handle exceptions in our now? Okay, that is what the topic what we are going to learn now. Okay, so the first 5 minutes record has been not done because I forgot to start a record. Okay, some of you clear now with my topic, no problem. Okay, I'll move to the next slide. So what is an exception in next? I already told that it's a problem. Okay, that may arise either during the execution of a program or before execution of the program also. There is a chances. Okay, we call normally is a compile time exceptions. Okay, so actually there are a lot of different exceptions. When we say compile time exceptions, okay, when you start compiling our program, first we need to handle that exception, otherwise our program won't at all run. Okay, so runtime exceptions are something like, okay, that won't give any errors or problems during compilation. They compile properly and perfectly, and when they start running, when applications start running, so when this type of problems, any problems have explained, it may be like a user has entered an invalid data, or maybe I'm trying to access a file which is not at all present in your local disk, or whatever we faced in WebEx, like a network connection that has been lost in the middle of the communication. Okay, whatever these type of problems occurs when applications start running in middle, So that type of problems we call it as an exception. Either it may be in compile time, either it may be runtime. Runtime means in middle, if any problem occurs, we need to handle those situations. Compile time means before compiling my application, we need to handle these type. Okay. So normally, whenever we say an exception, we say it's a runtime error. Okay. So I told several times, if any problem occurs, we need to handle the situation so that our application need to run smoothly. Okay, irrespective of situation, our application should be run smoothly. So every time I'm telling handling exceptions, is it right? If any problem comes, how we are going to handle? Of course, we know that we are the developers. We know in which situation we are going to face a problem. Is it right? Something like, suppose I told you when I've written a for loop, okay, when I've written a for loop. So let us come to one example. We'll come to exact. Okay. So now I'm sharing my screen. Okay. Okay. Is it visible? My screen. Now I cannot access the thing. Can you switch on one microphone and tell me, is it my screen is visible? JDoodle. Can anybody? Anybody? Okay, fine. It's visible. Fine.
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Okay, see, okay, I will running my application. Assume that I'm going to put value that is x divided by y here. We know that we are the program creator. Of course, we know if I pass 10 as in hex and if I pass 8 in y, not at all any problem of dividing x divided. Is it right? So suppose if I run this, see, of course, we are going to get an output. Is it right? Suppose, assume I'm going to write one more program that is for, okay, I is equal to, okay, I'm not initialize that, I, okay, int I is equal to 1, okay, assume 1, okay, and and I should be less than or equal to 10, assume 10, okay, assume, and less. I'm going to put this here. Okay. So if I'm going to start running on this, what is that error? For int I is equal to, okay, one more plus error cannot find symbols. Okay, so it is too local to here. That's why it's problem. What I do is initially I will write z equals to 0. Fine. Okay. Now, one more error. What is that? Okay, forget about those things. Okay, fine. So what I do is simply I'm going to run example. Of course, we know that we are going to get an output for this. Suppose if I initialize y equals to 0, okay, so we know that, so it is divide any integer divided by 0, is it right? Of course. So what happens if I run this? See, it's an error, is it right? It's an error. Suppose I have one more statement, okay. Okay, suppose if irrespective of this error, suppose I need my statements to run. Okay, this statements to run. If I know there may be a this this statements may cause error because it is not at all possible to divide a variable by zero. Suppose if irrespective of that statement, display this statement. What is error? Okay, so if I run first, C package println system dot. Okay, that is capital S. Sorry, you need to understand everything is object oriented here. Everything is object oriented because what is our method println? Of course, it belongs to a class called system. Okay, an object called out. You must understand. That's why the previous error I missed a simple yes here. That's why it shows that your package is missed. So you don't have any meaning for this println. You don't specify which class it belongs to. Okay, so that you need to understand this out is an object of system. Okay, everything is object oriented thing in. So let us now have still I know if this situation have a problem. Okay, situation I want to run this situation, is it right? Irrespective of this error, still I want to run this situation even though if I give y is equal to 1, no problem. Both statements will run. If I give y is equal to 0, so it will come to end here itself. It won't move on to the next steps at all. So that's the problem what we are going to face. So we need to handle these types of situation. Irrespective of error, it has to come to this point and it has to show some error. Okay, I have some error like that. And it has to move on to running other statements of your program also. That to handle. That's what we need to handle that exception means. Okay. So these type of error handling is nothing but exception handling. How we are going to handle this type of situation? That's what we are going to learn in this topic. Okay, I'll come to my big button blue now. So okay, so now I think it is visible. So if you face any problem like that, what we faced in the previous, like whether it may be file not found or network communication not there or divide by zero or whatever it is, if you face such type of problems, of course, we need to handle that irrespective of these problems, we need to handle that thing so that our next statements need to run smoothly. Even if you have any statement having this type of problems, at least if that statement won't run, at least the other statements. So in order to do that, what we do is, if any problem occurs, we know that we are the programmer, we know where the problem is going to occur. Okay, we need to create an exception in that particular part. Okay, if any problem is going to occur, means we need to identify in which statement the problem is going to occur. Then we need to create an exception in that particular statement. Okay, and we need to throw that exceptions. And whenever that exception is thrown, we need to know that how to exceptions. Okay, so this is what exception means. First, okay, first we need to see any statement is going to cross or not. Okay, if you know that if any statement is going to cause an error, what we do is we need to create an exception with respect to that statement. Okay, so we need to put the exception thing. Okay, when if when we are running our application, if our program that particular part, okay, what we do is we need to throw that exceptions. Once the exception is thrown, we need to handle that exception by giving some error messages or is there we know that it is a divide by zero. If any situation comes that we will print that message that you cannot delete a you cannot divide any number by zero, something like that. This is what nothing but ending situations. Okay, after next other statements are there may be a valid statement, then they start running. Okay, that's what if you don't handle that situation, of course we know that we cannot move to the next statement at all in our program. In the initial stage only our application ended because of an error. So if you know, so if any problem situation occurs like file not found or network or something, database not found or array out of bounds or something like that, then what we do is we know the situation, handle that situation, statements will run smoothly. Okay, that is what exception handling mechanism follows. Okay, let us go to the next slide now. Okay,